Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Legendary Aspects. Today we're going to be going over a Diablo 4 legendary aspect known as the Ghostwalker's aspect. The Ghostwalker's aspect is actually a pretty cool one, and it's actually pretty useful for necromancers specifically, and we'll talk about that. Before we do that though, let's head over to the Diablo 4.life page, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where you can get your hands on it. So the Ghostwalker aspect is only boots and amulet if you want to get your hands on it, and it is while unstoppable, and for 4 seconds after, you gain 10 to 25% increased movement speed and can freely move through enemies. It's actually best gambled on a boots for a druid, but you can get it on just about any boots, by the way. It just seems like the druid has the least number of competing aspects, which means that you end up with a better chance of getting your hands on it if you want to. The necromancer has the most boot aspects, and so he has the worst chances. Now, the Ghostwalker aspect basically just gives you a nice little boost in movement speed whenever you are unstoppable, and for 4 seconds after, which is also very nice. So depending on how long your unstoppable effect lasts for, you are going to get a pretty decent amount of additional movement speed. Now, on the Necromancer specifically, they have an ability called Blood Mist. Now, the Blood Mist ability slows you down, which is rather unfortunate. And a very good use for the Ghostwalker aspect is to utilize the Ghostwalker aspect to cancel out, essentially, the movement speed loss from that effect. There's also another aspect on the Necromancer that does a very similar thing, which cancels out the movement speed reduction for Blood Mist. And if you combine the Ghostwalker aspect with the aspect that increases your speed while using the Unstoppable, you can actually not only cancel out the aspect, the negative aspect of the Blood Mist ability, which is the reduction in speed, but you can also increase the speed of your Necromancer by 25%. Which is pretty nice. So you can either utilize the Ghostwalker aspect to completely cancel out the 20% reduction and get a little 5% bonus, or you can also use the Necromancer aspect, which removes the speed penalty for Blood Mist, and use Ghostwalkers to give you an additional 25% increased movement speed while you're using Blood Mist. This is actually a very good way to use the Ghostwalker, because basically what you're getting is like a complete canceling out effect of the negative from the Blood Mist ability. Now, this is actually pretty cool, though, because there's a lot of ways that you can make yourself unstoppable, and the fact that it lasts for 4 seconds after you are unstoppable also means that you're going to be able to utilize it even more. Perhaps you're utilizing the new vampiric power, which is the Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis makes you unstoppable for 4 seconds. And then for 4 seconds after, we've also got the movement speed bonus. Sorry, still a little sick. On top of this, because movement speed bonus also gives you an additional increase with the Ravenous ability. So if you are using Ravenous, which I think I am on this character, you'll notice that Ravenous gives you a bonus attack speed based on your movement speed. So the more movement speed you have, the more attack speed that you gain. In this particular case, I would gain 25% increased movement speed whenever I go unstoppable, which would also give me an additional bonus for Ravenous, increasing my attack speed. It's a pretty nice little one, especially since it goes on boots. It's not really that bad at all. On top of this, it also allows you to freely travel through enemies, which can come in handy, especially if you're in danger. So if you find yourself in a particularly precarious situation where obviously you're stuck in the middle of a bunch of monsters, maybe there is, maybe you got frozen, maybe you're surrounded, whatever it is, you tap your Unstoppable to save your life. Well, now this also allows you to, number one, move faster, and number two, move through the enemies so that they can't block your escape, which is certainly very nice. Overall, a very decent little aspect, which can come in handy on a lot of different characters, but none more so, I think, than the Necromancer and the Blood Mist ability. So if you are planning on doing a Blood Mist Necromancer, maybe an Infinimist build, this is a good option for you. I think that's pretty much it for this one. The Ghostwalker aspect is a pretty good one, and probably look into it if you need an additional increase in movement speed. Unfortunately, there are some decent other options for boots, but like Penitent Greaves, for instance. But for the most part, boots tend to be kind of like the waist slot, where you kind of just put whatever it is that you know, like extra. I think that's how I've treated it for the most part. So I'm not really ever too worried about wasting the boot slot on like an aspect that shouldn't be there, because most of the aspects that go in the boot slot aren't really all that great anyway. As always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.